Change can be messy. Priorities shift, unexpected challenges arise, and people get caught up in the pressures of their day-to-day roles. When we lose sight of the bigger picture, we risk putting effort into the wrong things. G'day everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lead on Purpose. My name's Middleton, and for the past 20 years, I've led teams of all shapes and sizes, from the Australian Air Force through the private sector. Now, I help organisations develop ethical, purposeful leadership at every level. I also help you become the leader that you want to be. I explore real-world leadership challenges, share inspiring stories from experienced leaders, and give you practical strategies to help you lead with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Today, we're talking about leading through change. I'm going to explore the difference between change management and change leadership, because even though they are sometimes used interchangeably, they are fundamentally different. I'm also going to unpack 5 principles of change leadership and give you some practical tips for how to instill these into your organizations so that you can lead through change no matter the situation. Philosophers, authors, musicians, and business leaders all agree that change is one of the only certainties in life. Technology changes, markets change, people change. Henry Ford is credited with saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. His message here is that if you stick to the same way of doing things, you'll get the same outcomes. But that's not really true. The rate of change, particularly with technology, is accelerating exponentially, which means that doing things the same way we've always done won't guarantee the same results. In fact, in our modern world, relying on old habits is far more likely to see us left behind. That tells us that in addition to being a certainty, change is also a necessity. We need to keep innovating, keep evolving, and move as fast, or better yet, even faster than the rate of change in our environment. To do this, we as leaders not only need to manage the process of change, but also lead our people through it. Change management and change leadership aren't the same, but they often get conflated. Change management is technical, so much so that you can study it as a technical discipline. It's about planning, executing, and monitoring the process of change. It focuses on timelines, budgets, stakeholder engagement, and making sure the mechanics of change run smoothly. It's essential, but it only addresses part of the challenge. Change leadership is human. It's about inspiring individuals to let go of what was and believe in what could be. When leading through change, our role is to guide teams through the uncertainty and discomfort, and challenge them to think differently and align with a bigger vision for success. In simple terms, change management moves the pieces and change leadership moves the people. If you want change to lead to success, you need both, but it's the leadership that makes it stick. With that in mind, here are 5 principles of change leadership to help you start moving the people, not just the pieces. Number 1, steer, don't just start. We've all heard the advice to begin with the end in mind. And it's sound advice, but effective change leadership goes beyond just a strong start. The vision for success must stay front of mind at every step. Too often, we define our goals at the beginning and only revisit them when something goes wrong. That's like checking your compass and your map before you go on a bushwalk, then not looking at them again until you're lost. Change can be messy. Priorities shift, unexpected challenges arise, and people get caught up in the pressures of their day-to-day roles. When we lose sight of the bigger picture, we risk putting effort into the wrong things. But when we stay focused on our destination, we give people a sense of purpose and direction that helps them navigate the uncertainty. Our challenge as leaders is to maintain that focus and not get lost in the detail. Do this by keeping the destination visible. Talk about it regularly and remind people why the change matters, even if that means sounding like a broken record. If things start to get messy, that's okay. Refocus on the destination and steer people back towards it. Number 2, see the big picture, delegate the detail. Change leadership requires us to keep the big picture in view. That means understanding how changes are implemented across the organization and ensuring that every moving part contributes to the overall vision for success. As leaders, we don't need to manage every detail ourselves. Instead, we need to provide clarity, set priorities, and delegate with purpose. When we delegate execution to capable people, we're not just assigning tasks. We're creating opportunities for individuals to think critically, to solve problems, and to take real ownership of their part in the change. This approach keeps the organisation aligned, with energy and effort directed towards a shared goal. So to maintain this alignment, understand and have clarity for yourself around the big picture, so that you can provide clarity to your people about what really matters and what good looks like. Then delegate with purpose, not just to offload work, but to encourage ownership. Number 3, break down silos. When change impacts multiple parts of an organisation, teams often focus inward and they prioritise their own challenges and their own pressures. This is a natural response when facing uncertainty, but it can lead to the formation of silos, which slow progress and sometimes derail the change entirely. Our role as leaders is to draw people back to the shared vision. We need to remind them that the purpose of change is to benefit the organisation as a whole. For change to be successful over the long term, we need to break down silos and get people working together. Do this by facilitating transparent, cross-functional conversations where everyone is learning together. Share information openly, as best you can when there are sensitivities involved, but encourage others to do the same. This sets the standard for collaboration in good times and in bad. Intentionally shift the question from how does this change affect me to how does this benefit all of us? Number 4, be the change that you want to see. In order to change a culture, you first need to understand that you can't change a culture. What I mean by this is that as leaders, we can't force a culture to change through direction and control. We need to influence change, and that starts with our own behaviour. Culture reflects leadership. If we want our organisation to be more open, innovative, and adaptable, we need to model those qualities ourselves. People notice what we do far more than what we say. When our actions, decisions, and language reflect the future that we're trying to create, we show others that change is something to embrace, not something to fear. To be the change that you want to see, walk the walk. Take ownership over your role in the change to encourage others to do the same. Share your own challenges openly to show people that change isn't something to be feared, and use language that inspires commitment to the change rather than merely instructing the process. Number 5, focus on the people, not just the process. Process provides structure, but people create momentum. No matter how well designed a change plan is, its success depends on the people who bring it to life. Systems don't resist change. People do. As leaders, when we focus solely on the systems, processes, and timelines, we risk overlooking the human experience of change. The fears, the doubts, the motivations, self-serving or otherwise, that determine whether people will engage or resist. These people determine whether the change will be successful or just fade away. To bring people on the journey, acknowledge the human element and create space for honest discussions. If people don't feel heard, if they don't feel supported, they'll disengage and retreat to the safety of their silos. So help people connect their role to the bigger picture so that everyone can stay focused on achieving the end goal together. Let's quickly recap the 5 principles of change leadership. Number 1, steer, don't just start. It's not enough to set the destination and hope for the best. Keep that vision front and center and remind people why it matters, especially when things get messy. Number 2, see the big picture, delegate the detail. Your job is to be clear on the big picture. Set priorities and then trust your people with the details. Delegate to create ownership, not to offload work. Number 3, break down silos. Change stalls when teams retreat into their own corners. Keep the conversations open, share information, and help everyone shift from how does this affect me to how does this benefit all of us. Number 4, be the change that you want to see. Culture is a reflection of leadership. If you want openness and adaptability, model it. Walk the walk. Share your own challenges and use language that inspires rather than instructs. Number 5, focus on the people, not just the process. Process keeps things organized, but people make change happen. Listen to their concerns, help them see their role in the bigger picture, and make sure they feel supported along the way. Remember, change management moves the pieces, change leadership moves the people. It's not enough to just implement a new system or policy or process. You need to lead people through the uncertainty. Help them connect with the bigger picture and keep reminding them of what the change is intended to achieve. By staying focused on the end goal, maintaining visibility of the change across the organization and bringing people together, you're giving change the best chance of lasting success. Anyone can manage change, but leadership is what makes it stick. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Lead on Purpose. If today's episode gave you something to reflect on, then let me know about it down in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who's ready to become a better leader. Remember, leadership isn't a title, it's a choice. So make that choice and keep leading on purpose. My name's James, and I'll see you next time.